I'd quite like to know, well, it's anything that you want to talk about, really, because obviously you've done so much, it's very hard to keep track. For example, you've been working with housing providers.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
and you've also had lots of individual cases. So could you talk about that kind of thing, how you've managed to support people during
Hmm.
a lockdown?
Yeah, I think, yeah, as you said, yeah, I've been doing many things, right, during the lockdown. The main things, when I start approaching our women, no, when I send the email offering my own, let's call expertise, which is a really big one, but I don't really like to call expertise. But when I send the emails to offer my own experience to other organization around Sheffield by saying, I know this, I've been trained and at a really high professional level. I received few response from others, and some of them they just say, oh, okay, we will contact you, like if you are just asking for a job or voluntary work. um, but at the same times, the Sheffield City of Sanctuary, they contacted me because I did some work with them through the city council. And then they said, we are actually creating this platform, new small project called COVID-19 Respond, and we wanted to be part of it. So that's when I was like, this is really good opportunity, because this organization, they already established their own network and they work from the bottom up level and from up bottom level. So they've got already that network. So for Dewa, we've got our own, of course, network, but it was within us, like within our own women, other charity project, but not as much as City of Sanctuary. Many women who approach us or myself, they were asking for different level of support, within different categories. As they were, we don't have funding, actually. We work in voluntary work. It was voluntary work. We signpost women to other services, so we don't have our own money. And then I accept this invitation to be part of City of Sanctuary, because it was like, that would be the perfect platform to link my women to other services through their own platform. It's this kind of the issues of networking, that kind of importance about the networking, because you can actually approach others. So when I become part of that, I ask if I can actually add our women to it, to their own data and system. And then they said, yes, of course, because we supporting people from all over. Within that sector, let's say, all food banks citywide, clothes banks, English activities, babies issues, babies clothes, babies support, everything. It used to come through that network. So, and then it was one way of supporting women in that actually wider sector, as well as immigration support, because they've got their own legal unit as well. So then you've got all in one place. So I start working with them, referring Dewa's women to all these services. However, there were kind of limitation of their own services, the gap, always there is gap somewhere. The gap, there were no any women's project dealing with women, purely with women. And most of the service used to be for families, women with kids. So for example, if they want to offer any IT support or laptops or phone credit or tablets or whatever, they support families it means women with kids in schooling age.
Mm.
These women, single women or single mother with less than schooling age, they're totally out of this service.
Yeah.
That's where I was like, it's a huge gap, you know. And I start trying to find ways to support our own women. I started by going to the social media and calling the public, asking them for direct support if they can support my women. And it was amazing. I was amazed, honestly. I know I've been working for a very long time now, but honestly, we still believe in back in our mind, this kind of racist racism exist. It is exist, right?
Mm.
However, without trying to approach others, you will not actually understand what's the level of existence.
Yes.
I was really surprised by the response from people, from the public, when I called for support many times. And 99% of the supporter, they were women, white women. 99.99, by the way, were white people, right? So I decided to drive around all over the cities to collect the donation. Most of them, they used to stop me and ask about my group. And some of them, nearly majority of them said, we don't know about this. We don't know about this category. We don't know about this type of struggles. Which is, it was like, of course, if we're not approaching these people, how are they going to know about this?
Mm.
You know, and then this is another gap, you know, it's a gap where misunderstanding first, lack of education second.
Yeah.
If you don't know about me, how are you going to judge me? So it was that kind of platform I used, and it helps our women as well. As well as being involved with Why Refugee Women Project based in London, and being involved with them before, but I've never been personally involved with any activities they provided before, used through other members. But when first time I saw them in their conference in Birmingham, that was February last year.
Yes.
That's the only time when they contacted me, or I actually said, I want to go to that conference. That's my first time saying I want to go to the conference. From that platform, again, I've never been in that platform. I was busy doing something different. They asked us, there was this clever idea asking the women who attended their conference, and they've got organizations, what they're going to do during the International Women's Day.
Yeah, we went as well to that conference.
Right, so it was me, and I invited 3 women with me. So one from Kenya, and one from Libya, and one from Eritrea. Right, I invited those women to come with me. And then they called, they were on the stage, and they called the organization to come and say what they're going to do. We usually do things locally, right, in Sheffield, quietly. And I was with my group, and they said, Ibtisam, what are you going to do? I said, I have no idea what I'm going to do. We will see, I'll go back to Sheffield and see what we're going to do. At that time, in December the year before, I was one of the keynote speakers in one of the Women in Leadership conference, a big conference run by one of the organization in the USA, in LA. And in that conference, I got many people invited me to speak in their own places. One of those people, an organization, I think the council from Scotland, somewhere called Five.
Yes.
Right? I've never heard about that before. Never, right? Never in my geography, the good level of geography. I've never heard about that place. So I received this email asking me to go to speak, to be their guest speaker.
Mm.
And I was like, so during the conference, they invited Dewa to come to the stage and say what they're going to do during the International Women's Day. I was like, and then they called Dewa, and with my own women, you know, I was like, Ibtisam, they're calling you. I said, they're calling me. I've got nothing to share with them. I was like, what? And then calling my name, you know, the name of Dewa. And I was like, gosh. And they said, what are you going to share? I said, I don't know. I may say to them, I'm going to Scotland. That's what I'm going to say to them. So I went there on this stage and they said, oh, what do you have? I said, well, okay, I may share this idea, the Sisters Not Stranger in Scotland, in my conference and in Sheffield. And then what are you going to do? What activities? I said, maybe I'll get women to support the cause and then hold the, you know, banners saying we are supporting or support them. See, I said, oh, this is a good idea. I was like, gosh, this is just, and it works, honestly. And I called the chairperson here in Sheffield and I printed some banners with the name and things. And I went to her and I said, go to this. We receive invitation from Sheffield group during that event to go to the museum.
Mm-hmm.
And they said they can offer us a desk and we can promote Dewa, and it's a good platform to promote this Sisters Not Strangers campaign. And then she said, what is this? I said, just take, I will print everything. I'll give you that and just take photos with people because that's what I promised them. And she said, okay. And I went to Scotland and again, I took this, it was A4, you know, A4 things. And I told them about this campaign. And I said, are you interested to support us? And they said, yes, of course, absolutely. I was, okay, can you take photos with me? I was like, they said, yeah, we are happy. And I said, shall I share on my social media? They said, yeah, we are happy to support you. So it was that kind of foundation of our relationship, if you like. And it was like perfect timing. Sadly, the crisis happened in a perfect timing as well, because we still know each other. And then they called us and we start building this kind of strength in our network by sharing our experience as well. So this is, and then I've got more support for our Dewas women through the new network. Shall I carry on? I will not stop if you not stop me.
Right, okay, I'll stop you now. It's just because I'm so interested in this. Yeah, I also was at that conference and they actually forgot to call Swansea out. So I was going, Swansea. Yeah. But so you did all that. That sounds fantastic. And then the lockdown came and then lots of things happened. And then, although, as you say, asylum seekers are used, horribly to say this, it's familiar to them to be isolated, to be uncertain, to be always in a situation of unable to contact, unable to buy things, unable to everything like that.
Sure.
However, one of the big things the Sisters of Not Strangers did was coordinate the destitution campaign, which is something that particularly affects single women.
Yeah.
Because if you have children, they're not going to put you on the street, but if you're a single woman, they well might do so, and do. So could you talk a little bit about the issue of destitution in Sheffield? Especially what happened under lockdown at the beginning and then what's happened more recently.
Well, this is really an issue here in Sheffield because they don't actually, they don't actually talk or involve asylum seeking people or women, right? They talk about this, they talk about homelessness, more housing to, you know, support people or that kind of language, you know. But I found out that talking, particularly naming asylum seeking people who lost their support from the Home Office and they end up homeless, or with no any source of support. This these issues is totally, confidently, I will say to you, totally ignored, right? Confidently. It's not I heard someone saying it, I experienced it myself. So then
it's difficult for them to go to refuges as well because of no recourse to public funds.
Yeah, to be honest, I didn't know about that much before. You know, I know it as everyone as destitution. I remember in Scotland in that conference, when I was talking about destitution, one of the Scottish lady said to me, "What do you mean? What it means? What destitution means?" It's Scottish, you know, white Scottish woman. I was like, gosh, she doesn't know what destitution means. And I said, the people who has nothing and they are end up at the street. And then she said, this is a new term. I have to Google it. I was like, really? You don't know about this? You can tell you're not using it. You know, it's not necessarily you speak the language, you know, everything, right? In here, I heard all the time about homeless, and I can see them on the street, you know, in Sheffield, you can see them. But mostly people affected by drugs, or people lose their support in a certain level. And you don't know actually who's who. Till once, I received a phone call from one of the women I support. And she said to me, I'm not sure if you can help me with this, but just in case you can, or you can link me with someone. I said, what is it? I will try. And then she told me about these women, failed asylum seeking women, is a rough sleeper. And she lost her accommodation 3 years ago. She was a victim of human trafficking, and been traveling around to many other cities. And last one, it was Newcastle, right? And now she's on the street and sleeping roughly in any of you know, bus stops, right? So I was like, wow, you know, I've never heard about this, honestly. I was like, wow, I don't know if I can help something like that, so I don't know what to do with it. But because I do voluntary work with City of Sanctuary, and I actually added her details, or I mean the issues, there's no details, the issues to the list, and I called for support. They tried to link her to the council, to the city council, to the Red Cross, to other sectors, but we couldn't do anything for her. And the reason is the council, they don't really have a particular support for this particular group, right? Because it's not mentioned in their own policy, you see. And I was like, how come that this group is not mentioned in their policy? That's when I was like, how come I'm gonna leave her on the street? And then I went back to the social media. I called for advice and I called for support. So some people referred me to here and there, and I said, yeah, I tried this, it's not working. I tried the council, it's not working. I tried it, but I don't know what to do. And then these people, women there, and they tagged my post, they tagged their MPs, tagged the MPs. And then one MP responded to my call publicly, saying, could you get in touch with me, with my office? So it was that kind of help available, but how are you going to reach it? Or who cares, right? Who cares? And then with that support, counselors as well, they contacted me through the social media, and I start calling out for support. But they said, we can't provide her accommodation tonight or within 2 days, these 2 days. You have to try something else. There is no something else. Through the social media, some women offered to pay for their hotel, you know, pay for their accommodation, for the women's accommodation. And they said, we are happy to support you and we will send you the money. I said, don't send me the money I don't take monies.
Mm.
Go to the hotel and book her, and I will drive her to that hotel. I don't deal with money.
Mm.
So
This
they
is
did
the
that.
problem, the
Yeah,
whole
they did
question with
that.
money, isn't it? Because
Yeah, I said, no,
people,
I don't deal with money.
yeah.
Go to the hotel, phone them, book directly, tell them I will arrive to them, and I'm happy to go anywhere. It was that kind of support.
Mm.
And then we hosted this woman. She slept in this hotel in Mercure, and it was a suite room, big room. I went with her to the hotel. There's a big reception, 5-star reception, and I went with her to the room, and she stood up in the middle of the room, looked at me, and she said, "I can't believe where I am now."
Mm.
I, you know, I was speechless.
Mm.
She said, "I can't believe it. From the street to this hotel, to this room." I think that moment, it tells a lot. You know, it's a story by itself. You know, if I'm an artist, I will actually draw a story based on that standing in the middle of the room,
Yes.
and saying that. And then I said, "Do you have anything? Do you have dinner? Do you have clothes?" She said, "Not really." So I went back to the Facebook saying, "Anyone happy to donate dinner, clothes?" Da, da, da. I mean, I was amazed by the response again.
Mm.
One of the women through the Facebook, she said, "I don't have much to share." But it was at 10, 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. She said, "I can cook her pizza now. Can you come and collect it?" I said, "Certainly I will."
Mm.
So she made the pizza, homemade pizza, and I went there. I mean, this is another story, isn't it? It's just another story.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah, it was that kind of level. But and then we moved to another hotel. By the support from the MPs, we managed to get the council to provide her temporary accommodation as well, in a hotel as well, but a nice place. Donation were from all over, to be honest. Again, I said, "I'm not going to take any cash. If you want to donate, it will be close. Go to the supermarket, buy her something, and then I will come and take it."
Yes.
So it was that. And through the Red Cross, we managed to put her back to the Section 4.
Great.
And then we managed to get her accommodation, shared accommodation with everything. Since the first lockdown till now, she's housed and she's okay. I mean, this is a brilliant experience, honestly. From there, see how the incident could happen. From there, people from the council start contacting me saying, "We have this forum and this group, homelessness group, group with housing issues, that if you are interested to join us." So then I become part of these groups with
Mm.
these key people, right? That's when I start sharing my voice, saying, "Whoa, stop, there's something I want to share." And
Mm.
it was new, it was something new. I was like, "Gosh, this is how come this is something new." But again, it is about who you will allow you to go there, and you give the evidence by your own practice rather than by recommendation. It was your work could actually prove that you can do something.
Yeah.
And I found this platform is a really good platform to share those stories and get support from these people.
Yeah. So finally, tell me about what you've done with the housing providers.
Yeah, see,
Because that's an individual story, which is very
yeah,
moving, and I can just imagine,
it's all linked together, isn't it? It's
yeah.
all linked together. And again, through this platform, when I was like present in these meetings with, we're talking about 40, 70, 80 people in one room, right? With this Zoom. This is the magic of Zoom meeting, you know. So you can't talk and you're not shaking. No one gonna see your hands, you know, when you are shaking. You can talk and say whatever. And I was invited by this. I invited regularly now by these groups and through the city council. And there's private housing provider and housing associations. And the council and other services that are there, right? I'm the only organization representing DEWA women, asylum seeking women, mainly women, right? And then I keep sharing my ideas, keep sharing my opinion openly. And then I've been approached by those organizations, housing associations, saying, we heard you talking about this, and we want to know more about you, about your work. And I was like, gosh, this is so good, cool. You know, I started Googling who's these people, you know, and then I found out there is key people working directly with the council, helping them with providing accommodation for asylum seeking and refugee people and others, you know. So I had meetings with them, explained to them everything. They were like, wow, this is really important. And we can have this direct link with you. And if you like, you can just call us and refer your women to us, and we will help, because we usually directly work with the council, but we can actually accept any referral from you. And that will be good, as well as we want you to come and run workshops for us. We need this kind of knowledge. I've been contacted from the health sector as well. She was in one of the meetings saying, I want you to come and talk to our medical staff, you know, and the clinic, because they need to know about, because I was talking about mental health issues as well all the time, and the difficulty with accessing to the health service. So I've been invited by them as well to come and talk to our people. I was like, gosh, this is really cool. And invited by the Sheffield University Student Union Women's Committee to speak as well, and invited by other sectors. It works. So lockdown and the crisis helps to actually reach out and extend our own network. That's how I can say.
Yeah, I think we should be finishing now, because we could go on forever. Talked about your own practice as a photographer, filmmaker, all that kind of stuff, but we won't talk about that now. No. I think, you know, you are such an amazing person to talk about how someone can come from a small village in Yemen and end up becoming a major voice, really, within women's activism in the North of England.
One of the voices.
Yes, it is. But without you, a lot of those would not get heard. And I think it's just a testimony to the value of people that we as a country are cavalierly ignoring. And it's such a shame, because look what you've done. Amazing. And thank you very much, Ibtisam.
Thank you for all that. But let me just say, it's not just, it's as well as it's us, the people as well. So, you know, it's a host country. We are hosted by them, right? We should accept that. And even though when we become a citizens and everything, we still need to represent ourselves as a positive and a value, extra value to the country. And no one gonna know about us unless we go and speak. So this is how we could represent ourselves, and we should agree about the issues that always everywhere there are these bad and good people from, you know, whatever their background. But it's about allowing us to speak, and whatever the level of our language or the accent, the strong accent or whatever, the message needs to be out there.
Yes.
And because we live in there as one community, we have to agree with that as well. And thank you very much for this. And
perfect for the COVID Chronicles, because that's exactly what the COVID Chronicles wants to do.